I went to the Holy Land on pilgrimage for 2 weeks with a group of pastors here in Dallas and Fort Worth. We met for a year monthly together in a cohort, and then traveled together for 2 weeks, and then came back and met monthly for a year following. And so we developed a really strong relationship, and the trip was certainly sort of the center pinnacle of that. My experience when I was there was that I sort of accidentally happened into this practice of praying the Lord's Prayer. I had intended really not to pray with words at all, and wanted to just focus on presence and breathing, and my life is just so wordy all the time that I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss things because I wasn't paying attention and I was too busy thinking about things. But I got to Capernaum and sat in this beautiful church, and I just had to pray the Lord's Prayer. It was just beckoning to me, and it felt like the right thing to do. And then later that same day, I went to a church in Galilee nearby and prayed the Lord's Prayer again in that place, and was struck really immediately with how different it felt from one place to another. And so I didn't even make a conscious decision. I just kept doing that my whole time. And when I got back after 2 weeks, I hadn't journaled at all. And I sat down the Monday morning after I got back, and I pretty much didn't leave my office for 6 weeks. I was so worried that I was going to forget, and that I wanted to make sure that I remembered for myself what I had experienced there and what I had been thinking in all the different places, and the word or phrase that had popped out at me as I was praying those words in those places. And somewhere along the way in that process of writing, I realized, oh, maybe this is a book. A couple of things that I think may be interesting or potentially exciting about this book that set it apart. One is that I think it's really a cross-denominational as far as the content goes. There are so many books, I think, nowadays in the religion section that tend to limit themselves to just a small slice of sort of American Christianity. And the good news about this is it's just a book about prayer. It's just a book about a girl who likes Jesus a lot, who prayed the Lord's Prayer in the Holy Land. And so I hope that it has kind of a universal feel to it, that no matter what tradition someone practices, they'll find some resonance there and some connection with the Jesus that they know and love. I hope that it's personal, and that it encourages people in their own lives to practice prayer and to notice through liturgy and rhythm what beautiful worlds can awake to us. I want to especially encourage that for people in traditions that aren't particularly liturgical. And I'm hopeful that this book maybe will kind of nudge people in that direction. So it would be a great thing for a women's group or for a small group at a church to choose as a reading text, and they can, I hope, add their voice and their experiences of prayer to my experience that I'm sharing with them in this book. And I think that could be really fruitful conversation to encourage. And I think that's true for youth as well, in addition to women's groups or small groups kind of across the country. I think that this is an easy way for youth to kind of find a way into the Lord's Prayer that doesn't seem particularly overwhelming or rote. I think it's just about, hey, take this prayer through your daily life and see what happens. Certainly, it's a companion for people who are traveling to the Holy Land, but also I hope that it's for people who really just don't have the opportunity to go, and they'd like to, but just for a million different reasons can't. I hope that in reading this, they kind of get some of that experience, the smells and the tastes and the textures and the feeling of being in those places, and I hope that they can just get a small glimpse of that through reading the book. We want to encourage people to take this Lord's Prayer through their week and just to notice how it changes when you're at your desk and when you're at home and when you're at the grocery store and when you're at the doctor's office. And I'm hopeful that it will help people not only maybe glimpse Jesus in a different kind of way, but sort of find their way into the Lord's Prayer in a way that may be different from their communal practice or their lack of praying in a community on Sundays, praying the Lord's Prayer together. Maybe this will encourage people to do it.